Disclaimer, I do not own any rights to any content, videos, research, music, unless it is of my own creation. Everything is for entertainment and commentary purposes. All information is of my own opinion or are alleged until factual evidence has been presented. Cue the music. Hey, you guys, welcome back to another episode of ACC. Here is my take. Y'all, I have been pushing these videos out today for you guys because just new stuff just keep popping up. So I had to come on here and, talk to you guys about it, whatever. So, this episode is going to be about Monique. And for y'all who do not know, she announced that she would be going on it's called the Dark Matter Tour with with Cat Williams and Tori Hart. And she did her first show last night, I believe. And they said that she did an apology. And the apology was something different. So I had to go and, do some digging so I can go ahead and find some type of clip or what have you. Shout out to the neighborhood talk. I did get a snippet of the actual apology from her through the neighborhood talk. So I hope you guys do not mind me using your little clip or what have you. If you don't want me to use it, just let me know and I will rearrange the video or what have you. But I hope you don't mind. But anywho, so I end up going ahead and looking for it because I heard that she said something about Judge Mathis. And I'm like, well, wait a minute now. What does Judge Mathis have to do with this feud back and forth amongst these comedians? Now, Judge Mathis is from Detroit 313, so I'm like, wait a minute now. And I know for him and everybody, the world knows of Judge Mathis, of someone who does not hold his tongue, and he'll call you a crackhead when he see one in a heartbeat, baby. I missed that show, by the way. But anywho, so I said, you know what? Let me find out what it is that he said that made her respond the way that she did. So I found the clip. Y'all take a listen, and then I'm gonna come back with my commentary.
I appeal to our comedians to stop going after each other in public like this. You're embarrassing yourselves, you're embarrassing our community. I know many times you have to defend yourself about what's being said, but why can't we do it directly? And I just want you to know, I believe that we're being laughed at all the major studios and by their executives, seeing us in public, black folks going at each other. You don't see this among other communities. And that's why I say you're hurting yourselves and you're hurting our community and you're hurting the young people who are looking and want to learn and need to learn how to resolve disputes in a better way. I'm no saint. I'm guilty of having temper issues from time to time on my show. That's entertainment. You guys, say what you want as part of your entertainment, but don't go out your way and personally attack each other, particularly your families. I appeal to you for that. Let's not turn on each other, let's turn toward it.
Okay, you guys, so you heard what Judge Greg Mathis had to say, and I honestly did not think that it was anything bad. Like, I don't know why what he said would be such a bad thing. Honestly, I just really don't. But I did look at the Monique quote unquote apology, and she did mention Greg Mathis, and she also mentioned Stephen A. Smith. I also found the clip of him talking about the whole situation with the Club Shay Shay interview, so I'm gonna include that in this episode as well, so you can understand why she even mentioned him as well. But I just don't think Greg Mathis said anything wrong, or obviously Monique did. So I am about to play the clip, and I'm gonna let you guys, judge for yourself if you think that, what she said regarding judge Greg Mathis was warranted or not. So now I will say, on her first tour night, she did get a standing ovation. She does have a solid fan base. I will give her that. She had a standing ovation, and she looked like that's something that she really needed. Like, I've never really seen any group of people give her a standing ovation. So clearly, whatever she said, the crowd enjoyed it. But let me go ahead and get into this clip.
You got to run to the apology. You got to run to it. I got to give one. I listened to Brother Greg Mathis.
Oh, yes.
I heard you, Brother Greg Mathis. I heard you, Stephen A. Smith. I want y'all to understand something about me. When I have communicated something wrong, I'm a bitch who's gonna say, I'm sorry. I'm a bitch who's gonna own what the I said. I'm a bitch who's gonna walk in what the I said. And I owe too much an apology because I communicated some shit wrong to them some years ago. Tyler Perry said I have to give him and Oprah Winfrey a public apology. And I'm gonna give it right now tonight in front of you in Albany, New York. Oprah Winfrey and Tyler Perry, I wanna apologize for telling y'all to suck my what you said. I listened to what y'all said, Greg. I listened to what y'all said, Stephen. I listened to y'all. I listened to y'all. I listened to y'all. And Brother Greg said, oh my God, this is an embarrassment. Fuck the who? By whose standards is it an embarrassment? By whose standards is it a goddamn embarrassment? Are we now embarrassed to tell the truth? See, when y'all gave me the crown as auntie, I took that with a badge of honor, goddammit. And when you call me auntie gotta say the real mother shit to the younger generation. These slaves scared to stand up. Y'all gotta stand up, get up, stand up for your motherfucking rights. Hey, stand up and get.
Okay, you guys, so you guys actually heard the audio of what Monique apologized for and everything that she said in reference to what Greg Mathis responded with. And I never really listened to Stephen A. Smith, so I'm not sure exactly what all his work consists of outside of talking sports. So I said, let me go ahead and check and see what's going on with him for her reason to bring him up. So I found an audio clip of him discussing the Club Shay Shay interview and things of that nature. And I don't know, you guys, I sense a little vibe off of him, but I'm going to save that into the end and when I get my commentary. So you guys, here is the clip of what Stephen A. Smith responded with prior to this stand-up show. So this must have been spoken about like the day after the Monique interview. So just take a listen.
I mean, it could be Kwame Brown, it could be T.O., it could be somebody. I talked sports. I didn't get in anybody's personal life, characterizing and castigating anybody. That's not selling out. That's doing my job of covering sports. It's not Monique's job to do what she just did. It wasn't Cat Williams' job to do what he did on Club Shay Shay weeks ago that now has over 68 million views, by the way. It wasn't their job to call out Kevin Hart and Steve Harvey, Cedric the Entertainer, Ricky Smiley, Michael Blackson, Oprah Winfrey, Tyler Perry. It wasn't their job. That was a choice. A choice that extended far beyond the corridors of their job. That now has Black America taking sides and looking at one another with an elevated level of skepticism and disgust, while having others outside of our community look at us that way as well. And that's a subject that we're going to tackle on the Stephen A. Smith Show today. We're not running from this. We're going to talk about it. Whether it's Monique, it's Cat Williams, or even if it's my brother, Shannon Sharp for Club Shay Shay. I got a lot to say. A whole lot. It's about time that it gets addressed in a manner that it deserves. I have no choice. Now, some people would ask the question, why is that? He's a grown-ass man, so are you. He's doing his thing, you're doing your thing. I will remind you that Shannon Sharp is a major, major contributor to my daytime job, which is First Take on ESPN. And to be quite honest with you, we've grown to become friends. I got a lot of love for the brother. I respect the hell out of him. He's a 3-time Super Bowl champion. He's a Hall of Famer. And the reality is that he's doing big things. You can say what you want, but 68 million views for the Cat Williams interview is 68 million views. The first order of business with Monique in this interview in day one, with it being 5 million views, ladies and gentlemen, that's over 73 million views. You can say whatever you want to say. You just can't take away from that reality and what Shannon Sharp has brought to the table. The flip side to that, however, is that when you do interviews of this nature, we've heard noises emanating from our community because both of us are black men. I'm from the North, New York City. He's from the South. It doesn't matter. As black men, as brothers, as black people, what Dion Cole alluded to on numerous occasions in terms of negativity selling, in terms of us going after one another, what Chris Spencer alluded to when he talked about how nobody does this to one another but black people, it's inescapable. It's a reality. And so as a result of that, I have to answer questions because people have literally asked me, Stephen A., what do you think about how Shannon Sharp interviewed Cat Williams and Monique? What do you think about the pushback or lack thereof? Why give somebody the platform to come out on your show and say all the things that they've said? I'd be lying if I said those were not legitimate questions. I'd also be remiss in neglecting to inform you that I personally asked Shannon Sharp to come on this podcast and discuss it. To his credit, although he's not here, he was willing to come on. He just had other commitments because he knows I'm his brother and I'm not trying to backdoor him. And I'm going to say something that a lot of people are not going to like. I don't believe that Shannon Sharp is just an entertainer. I believe he's a voice. He's a voice in our community that is elevating by the day. He matters. And because he matters, with that level of significance and cachet comes a level of responsibility, some would say. But when you do it to the point where you're trying to act as if he shouldn't have them as guests, or somehow, some way he could have curtailed or edited out what they've said, I'm not going to go that far. Shannon Sharp is under no obligation to edit or alter genuine thoughts that his guests have on his shows. If that's how they feel, that's how they feel. Now, would I have been a little bit different? Sure, because I'm a trained journalist. And as a result, the level of pushback that I would give I'm seasoned and trained to do it, spanning 30 years. When Shannon Sharp was on Club Shay Shay, or Nightcap rather, weeks ago, and he said to Chad Ochocinco during one of his telecasts, I'm not Ed Bradley, the late Ed Bradley, God rest his soul. I'm not 60 Minutes. I'm not 48 Hours. I'm an entertainer. My only retort to him was that you're not just an entertainer, you're a voice. And take that voice into consideration whenever you do whatever it is that you do, so you're never telling somebody that you're just an entertainer. Because you're more than that. Outside of that, I have a very, very, very difficult time looking at the day and age that we're living in. Seeing 68 million views here, 5 million views there, over 73 million views for just 2 interviews, and asking somebody to ignore the significance of that, knowing most people wouldn't. Because that's being full of shit. That's not being authentic. Most people wouldn't ignore that. Now, again, I would have pushed back on Cat Williams on several things, because the personal in which he went about the business of highlighting his attacks and illuminating his attacks against Kevin Hart, against Steve Harvey, against Ricky Smiley, Cedric the Entertainer, Michael Blackson, and others, or I would have wanted receipts. I would have had to dig a little more. That's just me. That's just me. Steve Harvey's a friend. Kevin Hart's a friend. If they came on this show right now and they were talking about Cat Williams in the fashion that Cat Williams talked about them, I would have grilled them. Because when you sit in front of this microphone, in front of this camera, my belief is that in pursuit of truth, you have to be objective. Now, you can be subjective once you receive the truth about how you receive it, how you interpret it, how your perspective is, and what you disseminate to the masses. That's fair. But in pursuit of the truth, the objectivity has to come reigning through. Well, how can somebody feel comfortable enough ever talking to you if they think that their messages are going to be disseminated to the masses when it was supposed to be a private conversation? You talked about Kevin Hart and how he said, I love you, sister, we'll talk in 2 weeks. And then after that, you never heard from him again. Okay. Did you play any role in that? I'm just asking. Did you? I don't know. But when you bring these kind of things up and you talk about Oprah, I'm quite sure Oprah ain't perfect. I'm quite sure there are an abundance of people, black, white, and beyond, that have had issues with things that Oprah has done that have negatively affected them. But we all know how much positive Oprah generated for so many of us, because she showed us the way in so many ways about how to excel in this industry and in life. Does it have to be that bad? Even after all this time? And to me, Monique is looking like somebody who feels like she's finished and there are people to blame for it. I don't think you're finished. I think you're great. I think you'll be back. I think you'll do great things, and I can't wait to see you do them. Hell, I'm trying to produce stuff. I'd love to have Monique in it, because that's how brilliant of an actress you are, of a talent you are. So I just wanted to say that.
Whew, child. Okay, you guys. So that was a lot to take in. Whew. He hit on multiple things, and I'm gonna touch on a few of those things. But what I wanted to say before I cut the clip on, I wanted to say that he was giving off a little like a jealousy tendency, a vibe or whatever. Like, I can't explain it, but I just feel like there was some jealousy undertone when he was talking about Shannon Sharp, Club Shay Shay, and how he really was conducting the interview, and how he said that, you know what I'm saying, he would have pushed back a little bit more on Cat Williams about the things that he was saying. So, and my thought process, because he feels that he is a studied journalist, that, you know, he would have been able to do a little bit better with the interview, I guess. But Shannon Sharpe has already made it clear he's not a journalist. He's just there to provide a safe space for people to come and socialize and talk and speak their truth. And that's really a big reason why a lot of people don't go to journalists. They don't, you know what I'm saying? Because they don't make it comfortable. He make it comfortable for them to come to his platform and to speak their truth. And yes, the numbers are unheard of for a podcast. Like, yeah, Club Shay Shay did that in 2 interviews. So I don't know, you guys. I just feel like with Stephen A. Smith, I feel like there's some type of jealousy undertone there somewhere. I could be tripping. If you guys feel the same way, just go ahead and put it down in the comment section. But like I said, I don't know too much about him and the dynamic of his podcast. So I might just, you know what I'm saying, go on over to his channel and watch a couple of his episodes or what have you, just so that I could get a better idea and sense of who he is and what kind of content that he talks about outside of sports. Also, he touched on saying that it wasn't Monique's job or Cat Williams' job to expose Tyler and them like that. And I'm like, well, shit, whose job was it? Like, it's absolutely is their job if it's their truth, if it actually happened to them. I'm like, I'm not understanding what he meant by that, because whose responsibility is it if it's not them? Who's going to bring these people to the forefront for their wrongdoings? Like, who else is supposed to do that? So I was a little confused about him saying that, and I'm just like, okay. But yeah, so this is his response to the interview. Now, hopefully, you know, a lot of this back and forth will die down a little bit. Because honestly, the Monique stand up, like, it was just too much cussing for me. Too much, cause it was be this, be that, be this, be that, MF bomb here, like, it was just too much for me. You know, I could only enjoy her for a nice little minute. Again, I love Monique down, but you know, she's just not a person that I would go see all the time in a comedy special. So I would like to see her that one time if they do come to Detroit with Cat Williams and Tori Hart. I would like to see her then. Now, don't get me wrong, I have my moments where I use, you know, some F-bombs here and there and everything like that. So I don't want to make it seem like I'm perfect Patty and she's not. I just prefer to not have comedy with so much of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could even say that about Cat Williams. But with Cat Williams, he also talks about real life shit. He has more substance in his stand-up than Monique does, I feel. So that's just all. But I still love her. Okay, you guys. So this is going to be the end of this episode. I just wanted to get on here before I went to bed after watching the Super Bowl. My team did win. Yes, they did. And I enjoyed the Usher concert. I'm actually going to do a whole different video or episode for Usher and, you know, about my likes and dislikes or what have you. So I'm going to end this right here, and I will chat up with you guys on the next episode. Y'all take care. Bye.